Grammar Lesson 1.5, Possessive Adjectives. So far in Spanish class, we've learned about characteristic adjectives, which you know describe a noun, so person, place, thing, or idea. Today we're going to learn about possessive adjectives, which in some ways function like characteristic adjectives, but in some ways they're different. So first let's talk about what are possessive adjectives. Well, possessive adjectives, like descriptive adjectives, are words that are used to describe or qualify nouns. Specifically, possessive adjectives express the quality of ownership or possession. Now, for those of you taking notes, a simple or more easy way to word this is possessive adjectives express whose noun it is. There are a couple of rules for possessive adjectives you'll want to make sure and include in your notes. Number 1, like characteristic adjectives, possessive adjectives must match the noun they modify in number and gender. When I say in number, that means if the noun is singular, the adjective must also be singular. If the noun is plural, the adjective will also be plural. And when I mean gender, that is referring to masculine or feminine. So if the noun is masculine, the adjective also will be masculine. If the noun is feminine, so will the adjective be. Number 2, unlike characteristic adjectives, possessive adjectives are placed before the nouns they modify. You're used to putting your adjectives after the nouns, so this is going to be a little bit different today. Go ahead and copy down the following 3-column chart. We're going to talk about the English meaning of each of these possessive adjectives, how to say it in the singular form, and how to say it in the plural form. The first one we're going to address is how I would express that something belongs to me. So it is my book, my friend, my mother, my shoes, whatever it is. If there's only one thing that belongs to me, then I use the word mi, as in mi libro, for my book. If there's more than one book and I want to say my books, then I use the possessive adjective mis. If it is yours and the you that I'm talking to is tu, then I would say tu libro, your book, or if you have more than one, tus libros, your books. Now remember, in Spanish there's 4 different kinds of you. So where you see the word tu in parentheses, that's simply indicating which you I'm talking to when I use the your that's spelled T-U. You'll notice your, spelled T-U, does not have an accent, whereas you, tu, does have an accent. So it's important to remember to put your accent marks where they belong and leave them off when they don't belong. The next possessive adjective is one word that can mean multiple things. It can mean his book, her book, or your book if the you that I'm talking to is usted. And that word is su if it's only one singular noun. If it's plural, like his books, her books, or your books, then we use sus. You're probably starting to pick up on a pattern here. To make it a singular possessive adjective plural, all you do is add an S to the end, which is really easy. Now, if something belongs to us, it is our book. This is where what the gender of the noun comes into play. So if it's masculine, like book, I would say nuestro libro. But if it's feminine, for example, like the word table, mesa, I would say nuestra mesa, for our table. And then if the noun is plural, nuestros or nuestras. If it is your, as in it belongs to vosotros, I would use vuestro or vuestra if the noun is singular. If the noun is plural, vuestros or vuestras. Now in English, it wouldn't be very proper grammar to say it is y'all's book, but that's kind of what this form means. Since we think of vosotros as the y'all of Spanish, then the word vuestro you can kind of think of means y'all's. Lastly, the word for their or your, if the you you're talking to is ustedes, is su, and if it's plural we use sus. You'll notice that matches the same possessive adjective we used for his, her, or the singular your, usted. So this is something you might want to note in your as you're writing down this chart, that the word su can mean his, her, your, or their. Sus, same, only if it's plural. So these are 2 words su and sus that can be used in a variety of ways. Let's do a little bit of practice. I want you to try to write the following sentences in Spanish in your notes. The first one, it is my book. Number 2, it is your table. And in this sentence, the you that I'm talking to is tú. Number 3, it is her book. Number 4, they are our books. Number 5, they are your tables. And the you that I'm talking to this time is ustedes. Please note that number 4 and 5 are referring to plural nouns, whereas 1, 2, and 3 were referring to singular nouns. Go ahead and pause the video now and try these examples. Okay, hopefully you had enough time to write down the Spanish translation for each of these 5 sentences. As we're going over them, if you have any errors, go ahead and fix those now. So, número 1, it is my book would be es mi libro. Very simple sentence. It is your table. Número 2, es tu mesa. Número 3, it is her book. Es su libro. Número 4, they are our books. Son nuestros libros. Notice that we use the plural form of the verb ser, son, with our plural noun, libros, and of course the plural adjective, nuestros. Lastly, número 5, they are your tables. Son sus mesas. Now, if you saw numbers 3 and 5, es su libro and son sus mesas, if you saw those sentences isolated without the English translation next to them, you might think number 3 means it is his book or it is their book. It is your book when talking to usted or ustedes. And that is true. It could mean any of those. So typically on my assignments and when you're doing things in my class, I'll specify which person the su is referring to, like who is the actual owner of the object. ¿Hay preguntas? Do you have any questions? If so, let me know. You can stop by my room or email me and I'd be happy to help you out with this.